Okay, so what we have here is we have two sequences, just representative sequences, one from each individual. And what I'm going to show to you here is some of the variations between the two individuals. And so we have a polymorphism here, this G and the A. A polymorphism is a variation between this sequence and another sequence, or a variation between this sequence and the reference sequence. We use a polymorphism to indicate or identify a mitochondrial profile. And this polymorphism shows one difference between the two individuals. We also have another polymorphism here where we have a T and a C, showing another polymorphism difference. So we have a number of polymorphisms that show differences between the two sequences. We can then conclude that these two individuals, they're not related, or at least not maternally related. They do not share the same mother. It can't be mother and child. It can't be brother and sister. So for these particular samples, because they've come from the same tomb and we suspect it to be a familial tomb, these two individuals, if they were unrelated, would most likely be husband and wife.
For centuries, people have speculated on Mary Magdalene's relationship to Jesus. Mary Magdalene appears with more frequency than other women in the canonical Gospels, always a close follower of Jesus. Her presence at the crucifixion is consistent with the role of a grieving wife and widow. And so perhaps Jesus and Mary Magdalene were married, as the DNA results from the Talpiot ossuaries suggest. And perhaps their union was kept secret to protect a potential dynasty. A secret hidden through the ages. A secret we may be able to uncover in the Jesus family tomb. We've finally been able to contact one of the original builders of the Talpiot apartments. Ephraim remembers the tomb, but is a little hazy on its exact location.
It's between the two buildings? לא בנו מעלה?
לא.
ואתה זוכר שזה לא שם ולא שם?
לא, זה
בין שני הבניינים האלה. Okay, he says it's right between these two buildings. Let's try.
Between the apartment complexes is a large garden with high terraces, and it's in this area that Ephraim states the tomb is located.
מאחוריי? אז אולי פה. בוא נבדוק.
But on which terrace is the question?
אתה לא תוכל להחזיק מעמד. לא טוב. זה יש דלת של מערה. לא רואה כלום. מה זה האבן החומה? הצבע החום.
The neighbors begin to take an interest in the search and point out an inconspicuous cement slab on the lower terrace.
אבל מבחינת בנייה, יש לזה... מה עם זה? מה עם הפקק הזה? זה יכול להיות תחת הפקק? Could it be under the cement thing?
Ephraim explains that the slab has no structural purpose, but he's interrupted by an almost prophetic visit from a blind woman who's lived in the apartments since their construction.
הנה, פה. זאת המערה?
זאתי המערה.
כן? איך את יודעת? איך את יכולה להיות כל כך בטוחה?
מה זה? אני זוכרת אותה. היא הייתה פתוחה וילדים פה נכנסו ויצאו ובאו וסגרו את זה.
את יודעת אם הם מילאו את זה עם בטון או ששמו חול בפנים או שסתם סגרו?
נראה לי שהם רק סגרו את זה.
זהו, ואת בטוחה שזה פה, כן?
פה, 1,000,000% שזה פה.
1,000,000% certainty. That's all we needed. If we could remove this inconspicuous cement slab, we just might find ourselves staring into the entrance of the Jesus family tomb.
Okay, now how do we do this? We need everybody to help, right? Felix, you realize we're rolling a big stone. Okay. It's unbelievable.
This is it.
It's the real thing. I mean, I'm pinching myself. I can't believe it. Okay, come on.
Take the picture and compare, man.
What's your first step? It's okay. Step. All right. Sorry.
I can't see anything.
As long as I can see the damn scorpion. One step at a time. No, just spiders. No, it's scorpions. Okay.
Okay. No, this is definitely it. Look, there's the chevron. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. This is it. Look.
Just like in the book.
Just like in the picture. Look at it. Felix, we found it. We actually found it. I'm going in.
Okay, let's go.
The opening of the tomb, 26 years after it was found, coincides with another twist in the story. One of the Talpiot ossuaries has disappeared.
Counting these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 ossuaries here. Each...
But the visits to the Bet Shemesh warehouse have turned up a strange error in the records.
I went to the storerooms of the Israel Antiquities Authority in Bet Shemesh. They provided me with this computer sheet which indicates that from this tomb there are 9 items. It says here quite clearly, number of items 9, and it has the description of these ossuaries and where they're located in the storerooms.
Somehow, somewhere, one of the Talpiot ossuaries went missing. And it is with this missing ossuary that a new mystery begins. Perhaps the ossuary was stolen. Maybe a worker at the site in 1980 had light fingers. Ossuaries can fetch fairly high prices in the antiquities market. And in October 2002, a chalky limestone ossuary surfaced from a private collection. It bore the inscription, James, son of Joseph, brother of Jesus. Oded Golan, a well-known collector, stated that he had bought the ossuary from an Arab antiquities dealer in the old city of Jerusalem decades before, but had been unaware of the significance of the inscription.
It was among the first ossuaries that I have in my collection. I didn't put any special attention to this ossuary because the 3 names which are mentioned on the ossuary, which are Yaakov, Yosef, and Yeshua, are very common name in the 1st century. And therefore I couldn't even think that it could belong to the family of Jesus. And at the same time, I never knew that Jesus had a brother or siblings of any kind.
After Jesus' death, his brother James took over his ministry and gathered a large following as the undisputed leader of the Jesus movement. Later Christian writings tell us that he was respected by early Christians as well as the Jewish Pharisees. And 1st century Jewish historian Josephus spends more time on James than on Jesus. But just like his brother Jesus, it was fear of his religious popularity and influence that led to his death. In what was widely viewed as an act of judicial murder, the temple high priest Ananus condemned James and had him executed in Jerusalem.